I had a client a while back, and he said to me, Troy, why is it that I am not getting any results? And he said, look, I've done everything that the manosphere has told me to do. I've got the muscles, I've got the money because I've got a good job. I'm able to travel. I've sorted out my fashion. Why is it that I'm not getting the action that I want as far as dating is concerned? And the truth is that guys are very logical. And so we tend to have this idea that it's this equation where it's A plus B plus C equals D. Okay, I've got this, I've got that, I've got the other. The hot girl should fall into my lap and that should be it. Fait accompli. It doesn't work like that. And myself and James Tusk, he was on yesterday. We were talking about our course, The Edge. We talk about this the whole time. You can have all of the individual elements that get talked about ad infinitum on Red Pill podcasts. But if you don't have something else, if you don't have X Factor, then you are going to have a very, very hard time. And in fact, you're probably going to fail more than you succeed in today's dating marketplace.
In that sort of conversation, women don't like anything heavy, especially like anything that's heavy conversation, heavy.
True. And again, we always talk about playfulness. Okay. Again, I'm on calls with clients all the time. A lot of the clients that I work with, great guys, super intelligent, and actually social dudes often, and fun guys in their own way. But when they're sitting with a woman, they tend to be heavy. They tend to be too intense. Now, there's another nuance to this, because all of this stuff, there's always sort of two sides to the coin. Actually, a degree of intensity, when delivered in the right way, can be very powerful, but you've got to know what you're doing, and it's got to be the right kind of intensity. And it's got to be delivered at the right time. But for the most part, if you're talking about dating in London or Miami or New York or wherever, really, some fun place where there's some parties going on, the guy, the girls are out there, they're enjoying themselves, girls just want to have fun. Remember the Cyndi Lauper song, okay? You've got to be playful and you've got to bring lightness to it, at least at the beginning, okay? Later on, when you guys are dating, maybe you're sleeping together, sure, then you can get into the deeper stuff. But at the beginning, it needs to be light, it needs to be playful, it needs to be fun, okay? Because she doesn't want to feel negative, heavy emotions for the most part.
Like mentally, okay? When you get a girl to laugh, or when you get a girl to actually like you, you're typically talking about useless nonsense.
Absolutely. I try to talk about as much useless nonsense as I possibly can. Except on this channel, of course. Please subscribe.
Okay, or it's fun, it's lighthearted. Oftentimes, what you're gonna notice is there's alcohol involved. It's a social setting. Any of this heavy stuff isn't going to get noticed because that.
He's absolutely right. So I remember back in the day, because I'm a bit of a cerebral kind of dork, really, and I remember back in the day, I was trying to chat up this girl, and I would always sort of, because I felt like intelligence was one of my strengths, I guess. I thought, well, I can impress the girl with intelligence. And I remember being in the nightclub talking to the girl about existentialism and Jean-Paul Sartre and so on. And yeah, I mean, like if she's a girl and she's a philosophy or she's a literature major, she might sort of tolerate that for a period of time, but it's not setting her world on fire. Inevitably, in the end, she's just going to go, anyway, let's get some shots, and then she's going to go off with the Chad who's at the bar, who's having a fun time, and he's talking about dumb shit, okay? So intelligence is great in other aspects of your life, but in the specific aspect we're talking about here, which is generating attraction, particularly generating attraction in today's social world, you may as well leave it at the door, okay? And he talks actually about dumbing down. You may as well dumb down. Now, it's not to say that women are not intelligent. It's not to say that women don't enjoy intelligent conversation and so on and so forth, because obviously they do, but there's a time and a place for everything. And the way today's dating culture tends to work is that it's all about fun, it's all about good emotions, it's all about good feels, and you need to develop that lightness when you're out and about and you're doing dating.
It's not going to do anything to hurt emotions. Next, they do not work on themselves. Okay, here's another cold hard truth for a lot of you. If you have to work on yourself in any way, shape, or form, to a lot of women, that's some sense of self-qualifying. So I want you to take two types of guys. This guy over here has to put in a shitload of work, a shitload of self-work, a shitload of self-improvement, and now he finally only half-ass feels enough to go start some sort of conversation. Women sense this, and women can pick up on this. they're going to go, well, why does he need to work on himself? Why is he not confident as is how God made him? Why does he need all this shit to feel enough? And then also she's going to sit there and go, does he think that now that he's accomplished this or he's achieved this or he has purpose or he's built himself up, now all of a sudden he's entitled to my sexual desire? That sort of transactional behavior or that sort of self-qualifying doesn't work. So you're going to notice the guys who get the most amount of girls, especially when it comes to sexually or the things that are sexually arousing, these are going to be guys who don't have usually any values. They are not going anywhere in life, okay? Because there was once upon a time where those sorts of traits, okay, were also associated with lust and quick pleasure behavior. And there was once upon a time.
This is rather in line with what Rich Cooper would always say, which is that women will hang around on the finish line and fuck the winners, okay? So he's right. The journey of self-improvement is not inherently sexy. In saying that, can you sit on a date and say to a girl, well, I like to go to the gym, or I'm working on this, or I'm working on that? Yeah, you can, but it's not going to win you the brownie points that you think it is. Because what she's really looking for is the finished article. And as he says here, what she's absolutely not looking for is a dude who's try hard and who was from such a poor initial state that he's felt that he's had to work on all of this other shit in order to have even a chance with her, okay? So self-improvement is great, and it's a great thing to discuss amongst other guys, right? It's not going to be attractive as far as a woman's concerned. As I say, really, she wants the dude who's the finished article, okay?
It was all looked at as negative. Only today in the world are those sorts of things looked at as positive, and men are now trying to understand those behaviors and why it leads to the bedroom in the first place. Not to make this too long-winded, I hope I'm giving you some pretty good value here. I think I am, okay? He goes, but girls and women still want them. I basically told you why. He goes, even if they are the top-tier girls. Yeah, like, the top-tier girls, I'm guessing you're talking about looks or beauty. Those women are seduced just like the bottom tier girls. It's all the same. So what I mean by that is it don't matter if you think they're top tier or not. Women are guided by their emotions. If you keep shit low level thinking, if you keep shit basically easy to digest and understand, you talk about useless nonsense. I mean, like, here's what you're going to notice. If you're at a bar, if you're at a club, if you're at a house party, the get to know you type talk is so surface level. It all turns into games, it all turns into fun, it all turns into play. And within the first 30 seconds, if you're not making her smile, laugh, or giggle, you're gonna notice shit's gonna go south very, very quickly.
Absolutely, that's true. If you don't make her laugh, if you don't make her giggle within the first couple of minutes, it's going to go south very quickly. 100%. And this is why conversation skills, and that's a very big umbrella term, but I used it in my post. This is why conversation skills are so important, okay? But it's not just conversation skills in terms of, so tell me more about your architecture degree. It's about the whole thing. And part of conversation skills is being entertaining, okay? And it's being fun, all right? And it's bringing that lightness, that flirtatiousness, that banter to the interaction. Because as he says, in most social situations that you guys are going to encounter, okay, that is to say, nightclubs or bars or parties or out, the pool party or whatever it is, right? Or even in the street, even in the coffee shop, right? You've got to be bringing that fun. You've got to be bringing that lightness. A lot of dudes who struggle in this area, and myself included, back in the day, they really, really struggle with this. And it is absolutely one of the key elements to this whole damn thing.
He goes, what's the matter? Do you know why this is? Yeah, I do know why this is. You're trying too damn hard. The second you just let go, the second you don't care, the second you stop giving a fuck, and the second you literally don't care, but like the second you stop trying to self-qualify, like, I went to the gym and I'm on my purpose and I learned how to do kickboxing, and now since I make 10 grand a month, now I'm entitled to that girl's attraction and she should just be wet. That ain't how shit works.
Absolutely. And as I say, this really reminds me of the conversation I had with a client. It was last year, I think, where we had a very, very similar conversation to this. He was saying, look, I'm jacked. I go to the gym. I do martial arts. I do this. I do that. I've got good clothes. I've got a good job. What's the problem? Where are the girls? And it's like, well, the problem is you haven't got any riz. Okay. I mean, like that's what it comes down to. You know, like the game part of it, however you define that, and game is also an umbrella term. But unless you've got that X factor, unless you've got that riz, which, you know, in the example he's using is about, can you make her laugh? Can you be playful? Can you be light? Can you be witty? Can you be fun? Unless you've got that going on as well, all the rest of it, yeah, she might, when she's 35, decide, okay, well, I'm fine, all right, I'll marry this dude. He's got some money, fine, whatever. But you're not setting her world on fire. You're not sparking visceral desire. And that's what you want to do.
So when you accept these truths, you're going to learn that sexual desire has nothing to do with how much you've improved in life. And these are totally irrelevant. And I'd also I'd also advise you to upgrade the competency of just understanding the world of how it is, and realize if the women are choosing those guys, they're choosing them for a reason. If the women are attracted to those guys, her biology is attracted to them for a reason. So you consider those beta traits, the women are considering those alpha traits.
Yeah, I mean, you can't sit there as a guy, or actually as a woman either, but you can't sit there as a guy and say, oh, well, actually, all these women are wrong. It's the secret king fallacy, isn't it? It's like, no, all these women are wrong. I'm the true alpha. They're not sleeping with me, so that the entire female population in America is wrong because they don't realize how great I am, and they're sleeping with these other beta guys over here, but they're all fucking idiots. What's wrong with these women? You can't say that, right? It's not real. You've got to look at stark, hard reality. If you're doing stuff and you're going out there and you're trying to get a particular outcome, that is to say, you're trying to get dates, you're trying to get into a relationship, whatever it is, and it's not happening, then, but it's happening for other people around you, then clearly, by definition, the people around you are doing it right and you're doing it wrong. Okay? And people are just not honest with themselves enough about this stuff. We hide behind illusion a lot of the time, okay? And it's a very bad way to approach life. You've got to be realistic. You've got to be honest with yourself as much as attempting to be honest with other people. But you've got to, first off, be honest with yourself and be like, look, I am not where I want to be. I'm not getting the things I want to get. Why not? What's he doing over here that's getting him the things that I actually want?